Just one unnamed teammate who played better as long as he had sex immediately before kickoff. The gap had to be as short as possible. Hello, and welcome to Reminding You Why You Love Football. Before we even get into any reviews, if this is your first time, I apologise for what's about to come. You won't know what is going on, but just let you know that Tommy has come dressed today. There's so much going on. He's got a pair of Nike Cortez on.
Yeah.
Some Stussy socks. Some Champion shorts. A yellow polo shirt.
Burberry.
A yellow Burberry polo shirt.
Old logo.
And a Ford Stewart Grand Prix hat. And honestly, I don't know how else he can say to me, I'm back on the drink. And Seb, this is what I've come up from Rye this morning, a £93 train today. And Seb has just said to me, it was Seb's anniversary yesterday. I'm not sure of his wife's name. He just calls her Mrs. White. Seb's anniversary yesterday. And I said, what did you have? He told me in the day he was going out for a curry on the hottest day of the year. And I thought, you know what, fair play. Because also what you should know about Seb is fish and chips is one of his favourite lunches. For when the mercury's up around 90, you can find Seb in a chippy. Because that's what bloody British people do. However,
thank you. I
said, what did you have in this Indian restaurant last night? And he said, a Kentish Town lamb cannon. I said, do you mean a Kentish lamb cannon? And he said, yes. Two very different things. Now, I can only surmise he is up to the gills with Kentish Town because he can't stop thinking about Keir Starmer. Anyway, this is a football podcast. Hello and welcome to Reminding You Why You Love Football. Hello. An award-winning podcast from Mundial magazine. If this is your first time, thank you for getting through that bit. We're going to give you a review to keep you in. This is by WFC Rob. It's been said already in so many other reviews, but each episode of RYWYLF is like an hour reminiscing about football's greatest hits with a bunch of mates at the pub. Stop talking about pubs. Every episode feels like it was recorded for me personally. On a personal note, as a Walsall fan from Shrewsbury, Tommy's references to our hometown in the 90s and James's memories of Radio WM and the Pink Pig Pit are all extra special. Fucking me, my chopped liver.
Yeah.
I was doing bits in the Midlands while these two were still a twinkle in the Gooser and John Bird's bonnets.
You were, yeah. It's a very valid point.
We also had what I think is our first negative review, and not fully negative, 4 out of 5, but some feedback which we will take on board. Don't all start doing it, but Rocket Man 93. Your love for Adventures in Clubland and dislike for everyone but me has been recorded. Send me your bank details.
It's the same way I feel.
Send me your bank details and I'll transfer the loot.
Give me the loot.
On this day, on this week in 1996, Wannabe by the Spice Girls was in the middle of a 7-week run at number 1. And it was a mad year.
In 96?
96 was a mad year. There was a lot going on. I'll tell you some of the other number ones that year. Return of the Mac, Fast Love, Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit, Three Lions Twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think the longest was Three Lions spent at number 1 in 1996? It had 2 goes at the top.
2 goes.
1 week.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
In and out.
It had, yeah, it did. It knocked Gina G off the charts. And then got knocked off the top by the Fugees with Killing Me Softly.
Fair enough.
It then roared back.
Oh.
Then Killing Me Softly had it again.
Wow.
It's like a title race.
Tussle. Yeah. Title race.
And then Gary Barlow squeaked in with Forever Love. I do not remember that.
No.
He got to number 1.
Barlow.
A solo.
Amongst all that.
Wow.
Then 7 weeks of the Spice Girls. And then Peter Andre with Flavour knocked him off the top for a week. And then the Fugees came back in with Ready or Not. And then we were into Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I tell you what, that is.
The Fugees just wouldn't give up, would they?
They would not stop.
No.
No quitting Lauren Hill.
No.
God.
And there was loads. Don't Look Back in Anger, Seb, was also at the top of the charts in that early in that year. How many weeks do you think that spent at number 1 before being knocked off the top by How Deep Is Your Love by Take That?
3? Just 3 weeks?
One
Just
single week,
again.
yeah.
A real kind
And
of
it had taken over from Spaceman by Babylon Zoo, which
what a tune.
well, no, is it though?
No, it's
It
not.
goes weird, doesn't it?
No, this is it.
The first 7 seconds, you're like, this is going to be a banger, and
This
then
is-
like,
Everyone saw it on that advert, didn't
yeah,
they?
and then yes, I remember this. I remember the disappointment live, Tommy.
Yeah.
We've gone on here. The reason we're talking about Wannabe was so I could introduce my panel today. And here next to me, Mundial co-founder, current editor at large, a man of many titles, Seb Sharty Spice White.
I mean, it fits.
He's coming in hot. He's
Yeah.
coming in hot.
2 pairs of pants. And across next to him, producer Tommy Stewart, who, Mundial's Tommy Stewart now, rather than just producer, works across various things for us, mainly audio, but other things. And I'm calling him Shorty Spice, but like Shorty Do Your Thing, SHAWTY.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
So Shorty is Sporty Spice.
Shorty and
Shorty.
Shorty.
I can't say Shorty because you have to do it in an American accent. Can you do it? Like Shorty Do Your Thing.
Shouty.
There you go.
Seb, can you?
What, do shouty?
Yeah.
Shorty. Don't ask him to do Shorty. Teddy will have to get the fire extinguisher in.
Oh, God. That is such a cheeky bastard.
Kentish Town.
Yeah.
La-
Good. I did wonder what Kentish Town Lamb was doing in sunny suburban Richmond.
I can't imagine there's many fucking sheep knocking around Kentish Town, Seb. Apart from all those people following bloody trends.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Trends.
Probably the woke brigade again.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Trends.
James Byrd would be there, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Inspector Detective General.
The Pied Piper.
It's the Pied Piper. Yeah. Inspector. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Those curly boots, pointy curly boots, strutting across Kentish Town.
Things.
It seems remarkable to me, but Niko Kranjčar is only 40 this week.
Is he?
My gaster was flabbered.
And you've met him, haven't you, Seb?
I have. I interviewed him for a pre-World Cup series back in the day, and I have to say, sat opposite him for 15 minutes was a delight because he is genuinely probably just the most handsome man I've seen, not just the most handsome footballer, the most handsome man I've ever seen. His eyes, he was an absolute dreamboat.
Really?
A lovely bloke as well, just cool as fuck. Yeah. He's a footballer as well, wasn't he?
Really good player.
He was a very good player. Tommy's asked me to talk about Joe Rogan, which seems like he's trying to get me cancelled or hated. It's his birthday this week. I don't care. So
I've put it in, not Tommy, by the way.
Oh, really?
I put this in because my
opinion of Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
I think he's a colossal bellend with
Yeah.
some awful opinions.
Yes, this is what I wanted.
But as a podcaster, I listen to the
exactly.
occasional one if I'm interested in the subject, mainly because he gets high-end guests. And the better the guest, the less chance there is for his awful opinions. And when he's just talking about stuff he's interested in, he's quite a good conversationalist. So there's quite a lot of layers there to get through.
No, exactly.
For example, I listened to the Miley Cyrus one this week.
Yeah.
She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I love
She's
that woman.
brilliant. He barely gets a word in.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
No, this is why I wanted you to talk about it, because I think a lot of people instantly go, I'm going to say this, it's the number one podcast in the world. But
but it took me a long, long time to
Yeah.
listen to it. And
I
then
think-
someone recommended one to me, and I thought, I'll give it a go. I mean, I don't listen to some of them. I'm not going to listen to him and Jordan Peterson.
No, of course. Of course.
Talking about elk meat.
Yeah.
Anyway, but a good episode. The Undertaker
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
is a very good one.
I listened to it off the back of your recommendation, and I really enjoyed it, and I didn't think I would.
He came back.
And also-
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The Undertaker did.
Yeah.
Just
He
fucking
looks very-
stop.
yeah, yeah.
Just only for one chokeslam The Rock. That's what he came back for.
And he got him up.
Yeah.
Tommy also wants to talk about South Park, but should we let him?
Well, I can imagine
What's your
from-
best South Park episode, Tommy? If people haven't watched South Park, which
Exactly.
seems weird,
That's why I wanted to.
because I've watched a lot of it and I've laughed at a lot of it, but in the end, it just fucking started to do my head in.
It's mad, and it's gone even madder since they've left Comedy Central and gone to Paramount, and they've kind of got free license to do whatever they want.
Is
et
Timmy
cetera.
still in it?
Yeah, he still makes the odd appearance.
He
yeah.
reminds me of you a bit.
Tommy! There is an episode where Timmy
Discorders, get your Photoshops ready.
Timmy takes over Uber.
Tommy! This is why I wanted to put it in. I knew this was...
My favourite episodes, there is one where Randy really wants to become... He gets into Gordon Ramsay and like loads of celebrity chefs. As it goes on, South Park, Randy slowly becomes the best character because he's basically based on Trey Parker's dad.
Still going though, bloody hell.
It's fucking him. I still love it.
Sharpman. Anyway, we are Eric Sharpman, as I live and breathe. Look at him.
How are you, babes?
We are 4.9 on Apple. Surprising. 5-star on Spotify, even more surprising. And this is reminding you why I love football, a part of the Acast Creator Network. We support these, we support these, we support these now, we support these, we support these now. So, after a summer hiatus for various sections where the episodes have been a little bit pared back, we are reintroducing some of your favourite sections, and now we are back on it. Holiday season is nearly over, and we are going again. So, we support these now is from the loins of Seb White is the opening weekend of the season. Because
look at him.
It's Christmas Day for football fans. All that excitement.
What's Christmas Day then?
No, the opening day of the season is Christmas Day.
For football fans?
Yeah, for football fans.
But what's Christmas Day to them then? Sunday.
Oh, sorry. Day before Boxing Day matches.
Good.
Boxing Day Eve.
Yeah, Boxing Day Eve. Yeah.
Very good.
Funny enough, I've just organised which game I'm going to on Boxing Day already.
What is it?
Horsham.
Well, I'm in Horsham at home, yeah.
So Seb, and this needs to stay in the edit, I think. So Seb, so every other year, Seb goes to his in-laws.
Yeah.
And then he legs it to Horsham with his brother-in-law on Boxing Day for 8 pints. They go and watch Horsham Town and have some burgers to wash the swill away, as he's said to me on more than one occasion. Anyway, we support these now, the opening weekend of the season. Seb, so what have we done? We've bloody gone and asked people, haven't we?
We have asked a lot of people, and we've got from all across the pyramids, across borders, and we've asked people for their favourite moments of the opening day of the season. Because the reason I think it is Christmas Day is you spend pre-season, going through transfers, going to pre-season friendlies, which don't really count. So you're sort of getting into the mood of going back to football again. You're back with the people that you haven't seen for a while because you've all been on holiday. And it just feels like, we're properly back now, opening day. Opening day, we're properly back. The sun's shining, which usually it's just joyous. And I think that's what. And like Christmas, sometimes it can be good. You might get the presents you wanted. You might get a win, or sometimes you might not get what you wanted, and it can be fucking depressing, and you realise you've got to go and do this again for the next 45, which is not quite like Christmas, but you know what I mean.
I think it's often too hot, and I don't like seeing early season crowds looking like it's end of season.
Yeah,
it freaks me out a little bit. There's too much light on the pitch. Also,
that's a good point.
Also, it's too early.
You said this before.
I think there should be other sports should be allowed to exist. Yeah, I think it's too early for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
By the time the season kicks off, there'll still be 3 test matches to play.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you've got it's an international tournament year as well. It feels like you haven't finished yet.
Yeah, but that's good for you, isn't it? Edging yourself constantly with football, ready for a big explosion. So, where are we going first? So, Seb wants me to read this one. I have a personal memory of this game that I was at the Reading Festival for this.
Which version of you was it? Was it the Kate Moss or...?
No, that was Reading 95. This was Reading 96, so it was Juve shirt, Adidas tracky bottoms. Oh. But I'd had some acid on this day. On this day in 1996. And the news came through that Fabrizio Ravanelli had scored a hat-trick against Liverpool. And people say, you hadn't taken it. I mean, whether I was still on the acid from the night before or I was starting to come down, I can't really remember, but fucking hell, it was surreal. I mean, I was wearing a Juve shirt that Ravanelli had played in, not physically,
but
the cap on, the one from the season before that. So I just remember it was a mental place to find out about football results because it was so much less connected then, right? It wasn't like they having big screens up and things like that. I just remember someone had a radio on or something someone had a radio on, sat in the.
Hardly anyone would have had mobile phones then, would they?
1996.
No one, probably.
Nah, there was No.
Not at all, actually.
No. And there was no one they weren't just, bands weren't coming on and saying, "Oh, fucking do it," reading the scores or anything like that. Any of that shit. There was just some bloke sat with a transistor radio, and I heard it filtering out, and I said, "Did I hear that right?" And he went, "Yeah." Ravanelli scored a hat-trick.
Amazing.
Robbie Fowler scored and thought he'd won it, and Ravanelli scored a hat-trick. Anyway, Alex on Discord. All the cliches about Cool Britannia and looking forward to a Labour government and 3 Lions and Euro 96, but there's a genuine optimism in the air, and it's the start of a new season, so anything can happen. Borough are playing Spice Boys era Liverpool, who, despite the derogatory name, are very talented going forward. They were very talented going forward. And they've got that banger Ecru away kit, also a banger.
Yeah, very much so.
Reebok Ecru away. We're in our mid-90s phase where I genuinely believe Steve Gimpson wants to win the league. We'd signed Juninho the season before, yeah, everyone knows that, and Emerson from Porto, pissing off Bobby Robson, and Ravanelli. It scored Juve's goal in the Champions League final. It's like Bournemouth going out and getting Vinny Jr. and Haaland. So we're a bit more than giddy. Daniel has then done us a wonderful voice note, which we'll play for you in a second. But we should say, in exchange for that, he has asked us to talk about his brilliant book, Food of the Cods, the story of Britain's fish and chip obsession. So, as a fish and chip obsessive, crucially only when it's really hot and they're unbearable. Seb, anything else to say about the book?
The book is obviously brilliant. Daniel Gray, you may have read his various tones on football. He's done a lot of different books. He did a brilliant one about football in lockdown, but he does capture the essence of what going to the match is all about so brilliantly. You may have heard him on the very good When Saturday Comes podcast as well, but he's got a great voice, and you'll hear him how excited, and he describes a brilliant day brilliantly here.
We'd signed Emerson in May, and so we had all that time to wait. Admittedly, we'd never even heard of Emerson, but still, it was tremendously exciting to see him doing kick-ups with Robbo outside the Selnet Riverside Stadium. And then Ravanelli in early July, I think. So still a good wait for that first game to come. That anticipation building more than ever. As a Borough fan, that we were on the cusp of something truly great, which turned out to be, of course, relegation. Anyhow, it had that first day feel that you should have. That is the sun beaming down as if, heaven itself knows that we're back, football's back. That lick of paint feel, the stadium only a year old, and that fresh grass that these days are for. And that's why the first day of the season remains one of the great days in any season. And to top it all, we had a new kit where the badge was on the arm, which was a strange feeling indeed. So all of that had come together. And of course, Liverpool scored first. I can remember a buoyant and brilliant away end when Stig Inge Bjornaby put that one in. And then this man, Ravanelli, we'd seen nothing like him. No one that could move in the way he did, so languidly and so aware of where the goal was, getting that hat trick. And when I think back, that game had that brilliant mid-90s melting pot feel to it. The fact that John Barnes scored and was on the field says it all. But of course we had Juninho and Emerson and Ravanelli and Nick Barmby, but we also had Derek White and Steve Vickers. So I loved that in the mid-90s, that we had both types of football, as it were. So, yeah, that first day was shirts over heads in the crowds, kids with their collars up on the way out of the ground, and utter optimism of what that team could achieve, and a great sequel later on when we beat them in the League Cup quarter-final on a much darker evening indeed. So Liverpool in the Ecru kit, but Ravanelli and that beautiful, beautiful grey hair. What a day. Unforgettable.
Amazing. Thanks, Daniel. So where are we going now, sir?
The key on that day as well, by the way, Owen, you mentioned about it being too hot. I remember looking at watching Match of the Day that night, and it looked fucking roasting there. Proper, the way the shade was, Riverside, the shade was on one half of the pitch, but it looked like a proper sweatbox, and yeah, a proper opening day. And again, the same day as Man United beat Wimbledon at Wimbledon, bright sunshine, Beckham doing the halfway line. So it was a very hot opening day of the season.
It was, yeah. It was very, very bright. And
the shiny kits glistening, and just glistened a bit more.
I remember watching Match of the Day with my family in Yorkshire that day, because it was so different then, thinking back.
Did they make you pay for the electricity?
It was. Well, yeah. We'd heard on the radio, and we'd heard people, we'd heard whisper of this Beckham goal.
Yeah.
And you have to watch Match of the Day. Yeah. So I was 6 years old. My dad was like, of course you can stay up and watch that goal. Remember it well.
Mad,
everything about Beckham's goal, the way he hits it the way he looks with his curtains and the kit and the Predators and all that, I don't need to say it. I've got various problems with David Beckham, including his Instagram stories and his crimes against, which are getting worse. His crimes against typography. I could talk about him at length with people every day. Yeah. I'm just constantly blown away by how bad they are. But
everything about that.
And he's done some other dubious shit. But everything about that goal is so fucking 90s. And so my teenage years, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, just a celebration.
The technique, it's a beautiful way to
the way that Sullivan sort of falls into the net.
Yeah,
because he's not a million miles away from it, is he? But he just falls into the net, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Those Predators as well.
Yeah,
the Predators
what a way to announce yourself to the world, scoring a goal from there.
Yeah.
And looking like that and everything.
Everything about it. Yeah.
Within 2 years,
the celebration as well.
So after that, we're just going to go a bit further north, but now, this one, unfortunately, we did try it, right? It's Raith Rovers.
Yeah.
Thinking Raith Rovers. We've mentioned him before on this podcast, but Raith Rovers' most famous fan is Gordon Brown. And we did email Gordon Brown direct somehow. Unfortunately, he wasn't at this game. So he said, I wouldn't like to comment on this game because I actually wasn't at this game. But one person who was...
Why didn't you just pick a game he was at then?
It was tight. We will go back to no. We will go back to Gordon Brown, but yes,
Graham.
Sorry, we will go back to Gordon Brown, of course. But yeah, Graham is a Raith Rovers fan who still has the game on VHS, and it was a game played in the beginning of the 1992-93 season. So this is a man who loves this game and came back to me and said, "I'd love talking about this game." But in short, it is an opening day. A thumping that heralds the start of a great new era for Raith Rovers.
So my club, Raith Rovers, host St Mirren. They'd just been newly relegated to at the time, the First Division. Now, in the week leading up to the game, St Mirren had turned down a big offer from Dun United for Paul Lambert. This team had just been newly relegated, had the guts of the team that was relegated and was a stalwart probably in the Premier League. They came to Stars Park, and not only was the margin of victory so huge, it was also the style of it and the goals that we scored. With a 19-year-old Jason Dare who was in his first start, chipped the keeper from about 25 yards, with Craig Brewster, who scored probably one of the finest free kicks we've ever seen, and our much maligned centre-half Ronnie Coyle ran from the edge of his own box, played a 1-2 with Brewster, who actually put in a Cruyff turn, fade Coyle, and Coyle ran the other half of the pitch and just slipped it past the keeper. The 7 goals were absolutely the top quality. Now, given that was Raith Rovers' first victory in the first game of the season since 1980, you can see why we probably got excited. Typically, as Rovers fans, the excitement waned off when we played Stirling Albion the following midweek and went on to draw 0-0. Reminds me of my dearly departed dad, who would always say when Raith Rovers scored a lot of goals, maybe we should have saved 1 or 2 for the following week. So he was quite right on that one. After that victory over St Mirren, the season was outstanding. I think it's the best football I've ever seen Raith Rovers play. Not necessarily the best players, but they just gelled as a team and romped to that league title that season, which were the foundations of that team built. Were all there for everyone to see when we did the Bayern Munich scoreboard in later years, and the execution of the goals was unbelievable, and it continued that season. One certainly to remember for a long, long time.
Amazing.
So Graham, waxing lyrical on just, going to a game, first game of the season, you end up battering a team 7-0, playing incredible football. Sometimes that can be a false dawn, but within 3 years, Raith were settled in the top tier of Scottish football and ended up playing Bayern Munich in Europe and actually taking the lead at the Olympia Stadion. Oh. And there's a picture of the famous scoreboard. You would have seen it when England beat Germany there 5-1. But there's a picture.
Cracking scoreboard.
An old school scoreboard, and it's Raith Rovers. And
another result that would have called for the brackets with the score written out after the number, just to confirm that many goals had been scored.
And when I thought about madness and opening day season, ridiculous results, I remember this one because so much happened, and so much happened straight after it as well. So Norwich City have been relegated to League One for the first time in I think like 49 years. They are pitched at home or the fixture computer has put them at home to Colchester United, who have, non-league, League Two. It's probably a home banker. Let's just say that. Brian Gunn, Norwich legend, is manager at the time as well. So the vibes are good going into the ground. Those vibes very quickly disappear because Colchester United, the little club just down the road, East Anglia.
Does Colchester count as East Anglia?
Just about.
It's in Essex, isn't it?
But yes, they are Essex technically, but on the cusp of.
It's weird, isn't it? The whole East Anglia thing.
Yeah,
that it's still called East Anglia. That it's like an old. Yeah. It's from Arthurian days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not Arthurian maybe, but when the old fucking the old fucking Ethelred and fucking.
Yeah. Them. Yeah. So and so the cunt or whatever, all that sort of stuff.
Cnut.
Sorry. Yeah.
So and so the cunt.
I can't remember.
Language sense. Come on.
King Charles the Cunt.
Yeah. We're in East Anglia and there is carnage. Colchester United beat Norwich at Carrow Road 7-1. Now, it's so bad for one supporter. Now, this is one of my favourite bits of this game, and I still remember it. Back in 2009. It's so bad for one supporter. He runs onto the pitch before the end of the game and throws his season ticket at the dugout. First game of the season. He thinks, fuck this. And I think there was a story about how they did give it. They said to him, it was a bad day all round. You can have it back, essentially. But within 10 days, so the Colchester United team is managed by Paul Lambert. So within 10 days, Norwich City sacked Brian Gunn and appoint Paul Lambert. And in the return fixture, Norwich battered them 5-0. And Norwich end up going to win the league.
Yes.
So they got absolutely battered first game of the season. You're probably thinking, we are fucked. And in the end, they go and steamroller the league. And they go and pinch the manager.
Got to take action, haven't you?
Yeah, swift action. So don't get too despondent if your team gets absolutely twatted on the opening day of the season.
I don't get, I do get it. He's caught up in the moment. It's a bit hot, etc. But you can't give up that. You can't give up on the first game.
Don't be too disheartened if you lose 7-0.
7-1 at home. It's hard, don't get me wrong. Be
disheartened, but don't throw away your...
Well, I would have left the ground at 3-0, obviously, anyway. Because 3-0 down, back to town is my rule. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 3-0 down, back to town is
No, it's not your rule.
Well, it's not my rule, but a rule that I adhere to. Me and Alex Daniel have mentioned this on a number of occasions.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the Beavers used to get planted every week. You were still there.
True. Okay, sometimes.
For different reasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm with people who I want to think I'm cool, I say 3-0 down, back to town. And other times when I'm with my spreadsheet friends, I stay.
No, but when you get...
We have important data to fill in, lads.
He's got me there.
It's my fucking rule. I'll tell you what your rule is.
I'll
tell you what your rule is.
Wouldn't let me leave it later.
Win or lose, 15 pints.
No, that's not...
Win or lose on all the booze.
Yeah, I staggered in the door with a takeaway. One of those times when you block the whole street's toilets, wasn't it? After a stomach full at the Beverly.
Anytime this comes up, we have to take it out. So
3-0 down, back to town. What about him blocking the street?
Yeah.
Why? Well, we're talking about it now. Seb wants the plumbing in the whole street was turned off because of one of Seb's difficult mornings on the car.
I don't think the two events were related, but
Rebecca said they were.
Did she?
Call her by her name, Seb.
Do not,
Mrs. White.
Mrs. White. Madness can happen on the opening day of the season, or it can also be 0-0, and you're just thinking, "Oh, thank God, we're back to this shit." But yeah,
I'll be playing cricket and just ignoring anything you say to me on that day, Seb.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right, that's fair enough.
As I do every year.
Well, I mean, crucially, I'll be on holiday, so yeah, I won't actually be taking part in any of this that I've been raving about.
What?
Yeah, that's true. But you normally send me a few pictures, don't you?
Like the visions of you yesterday, sweating in your garden on your lunch break.
Yeah. Ooh. It was hot though.
Fish and chips. Full fish supper.
For lunch. Yeah.
Full fish supper.
Handkerchief for my head, just to mop up my fevered brow.
First half of the Dam Busters.
I was listening to a war podcaster. Of course I was.
You surprised me.
Yeah.
First half of the Dam Busters.
By the way, they were supposed to do a remake of that. Peter Jackson, Stephen Fry was supposed to be in it. Apparently put loads of money behind it, but it's just disappeared.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many remakes.
You just don't black and white, do you?
Oh, no, I don't mind a black and white film. Well, no, I'm fine with black and white film.
But World War II in colour was revelatory.
Oh, no, but it brings it to life.
It does. It does. It is brilliant.
Adventures in Clubland. Adventures in Clubland. Nice to hear the theme tune. Hope you've had a dance. So when the Olympics started, we shared the episode of Giant that we did about Nigeria's Olympic Immortals, the 1996 winning team who beat Brazil and Argentina memorably and contained a who's who of cult and brilliant Nigerian 90s footballers. One of the pictures we put up was Kanu. Taylor Wilson commented on it saying King Kanu. Now, Taylor, we've known for a long time. And we saw him at Hotel Mundial recently. He also left a very lovely review about this podcast recently on Apple as well, which was nice of him. But the reason we got in touch with him was because he said that about Kanu. And of course, Kanu played for a lot of clubs. He had I wouldn't say nomadic because he stayed around at places, but everyone knows the story that his career nearly didn't kick off because of the heart defect, and he couldn't play in Italy, and Inter got rid of him, and he'd already had time at Ajax then, and obviously Arsenal picked him up, and he was never first choice, but he had some very good seasons for Arsenal and scored some very good goals, and he was just loved, really. So after his spell at West Brom, he went down to Portsmouth and, of course, ended up winning the FA Cup there. But we asked Taylor to tell us about Kanu.
It was a pretty wild time for the club. And then throwing in the fact that Milan Mandaric, our old chairman, had sold the club to Alexander Gajdamak in early 2006. It was all sort of happening. But we survived, and it got to the 2006-2007 season, which is where Kanu came in with a host of other players. And it really felt like the turning point for the club in terms of Kanu's arrival that year. Everything from there sort of turned to gold. We won the FA Cup. We were in the UEFA Cup at the time. We've secured a 9th place finish in the Premier League. It was a great time, and Kanu certainly was sort of pioneering that alongside Harry Redknapp. It was a crazy time, and we'd won Division 1 up to the Premier League, and that's all I'd really known is Portsmouth on the rise. Kanu made everything look so easy. There had only been a few players in the past at Pompey that had really done that in my time anyway, and that was Robert Prosnecki and Paul Merson. The way he played football, it wasn't like anything I'd seen before. He was slow motion. The ball would stick to him. The way he passed, the way he shot, the way he even scored goals was so unorthodox and so unfootballer-like that I think that's what made him so successful. That people just didn't know how to deal with it. Kanu wasn't a prolific goal scorer by any means. He scored, 12 goals in his first season for Pompey, and that was his highest season for us. He scores when we need him to score. He scored the goal in our 1-0 win against West Brom in the FA Cup semi-final. He scored in a 1-0 win against Cardiff in the FA Cup final. He scored the second goal to put us 2-0 up against AC Milan in the UEFA Cup the following season. And later that season, he scored his only Premier League goal of the season against Bolton, which ensured our safety for the 2008-2009 season. I don't think I can quite overstate just how special Kanu remains to the Pompey fans. You have to remember, at the time, there was Cristiano Ronaldo was at Man United, Wayne Rooney was coming through. There was Thierry Henry was still at Arsenal. There were these players with blistering pace, with skill, he played with elegance. And then we had this guy up top. We had Kanu, some 6'6" Nigerian guy who admittedly had the skill, had everything before, especially when he was at Arsenal. But we had him in his later years, and he was doing things just differently, but it was still working. He meandered around the pitch in a way I'd never seen before. He almost played as if he was injured. And a lot of people always said that as well. He always looks as if he's injured. He looks as if he doesn't care. He looks as if he's tired. But that was just the way Kanu was. Even the goals that I mentioned, that when he scored in the FA Cup final against Cardiff, even that goal was stumbled in. It was so beautifully bad that it was so Kanu. It was everything Kanu was about at that time. Was that goal. He was in the right place, he was in the right time, and it was a huge goal, obviously, for Pompey. But the way he scored it was so befitting of him as a player at that time. Ever since, he's been known as King Kanu. During our administration in 2010 to 2012-13, Kanu was one of the many players that was owed a lot of money by the club following the mishandling of the finances in the years before. He was owed $3 million. It wasn't a small amount, but he was one of the players who basically let the club off. Ultimately, has helped us still be the club that we are today, which I think is something that Pompey fans won't ever forget. You hear stories about Kanu at Pompey that are sometimes hard to believe. About, I don't know if you've heard the one where he's actually unable to bend his knees, so we had to get the lift up. He had to get the lift everywhere when he was around Fratton Park and when he was around the training ground. There were times when his players had to help him get up the stairs because his knees wouldn't bend, and obviously sometimes things have been skewed and you don't know what's true and what isn't. But I think the beauty in that is that no matter how he did it, Pompey fans just sort of accepted him, whether he did it with knees that he couldn't bend or whether he was meandering around the pitch half injured. He still got the job done. He was still there when we needed him, and I think that's why King Kanu will always have a place in our hearts, and I think will always be remembered as one of Pompey's finest.
Amongst his voice notes, this isn't a voice note, but he just messaged at the end of the, I would say, 12 voice notes. He says, "It kind of makes me wish they had heat maps back in the day so I could really just see how stationary Kanu was for Pompey."
12 voice notes. So you've stitched all them together to make what we've just heard of.
11 voice notes and 2 deleted ones.
Taylor, it's taken Tommy longer, and as much as I've just enjoyed listening to that, it's taken him longer to edit your voice notes together than he has edit the episode. What are you smoking down there in Fratton? Kanu, though, what fucking hell. I mean, if you haven't for a while, just go back and watch a bit of Kanu.
The goal against Chelsea is the at Stamford Bridge is the mad one for me.
He scores
he scores loads.
He scores a bananas one in that '96 Olympics as well.
Yeah, that was a. He
was captain, wasn't he? The Olympic team.
That was a great. Wasn't that a great episode to do that?
It's my favourite.
Yeah. I think
it's unbelievable.
It's my favourite.
Oh, good with Celestine Babayaro.
Yeah, we had Celestine. I don't know if we talked about it before. He turned up at our office. We paid him 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
We didn't really pay for many interviews that series.
No.
We were just getting blue ticked by Nigerian legends everywhere on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Kanu was at a tournament. JJ just didn't give a fuck. Yeah. And Babayaro turned up. He'd been on the piss in Madrid the night before after a Legends game. Yeah. And told us some amazing stories. Some of the stuff he told us that we couldn't repeat. Fucking unbelievable.
Please tell me after.
Just one unnamed teammate who played better as long as he had sex immediately before kickoff.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. The gap had to be as short as possible.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And
how did he accommodate that? How did they accommodate that?
Well, when you're winning the Olympic golds.
Fair enough.
But they hadn't won it then, had they? When they were accommodating his shagging.
No, sorry, yes. Yeah. No. And then
think, we're going to win gold, so you crack on, son.
Well, no, exactly right, because it was a very unexpected, wasn't it? Yeah. Beating Argentina.
And he was the captain. You're right, Owen. He was the captain.
Nwankwo Kanu. What a player. And
did you just call him the wanker?
No, Nwankwo Kanu.
Nwankwo
Kanu.
Kentish Kanu. Kentish Kanu.
Knuts Kanu.
And
Kentish Town. Kanu.
They obviously haven't got Kanu.
King Kanu the Cnut. There we go.
Yes. There's the episode title.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Boom. Portsmouth, they are very much back and things are very much cooking nicely at Fratton Park.
I wish everything was as loud and raucous as Fratton Park. I wish every ground was like that still.
Was it Thierry Henry? No. Ronaldinho.
Yes.
Ronaldinho said it was the best.
Yes.
Answer. It's old school, but
very high up on my bucket list.
And again, the atmosphere is good at the moment because they're doing well and they're a successful Portsmouth team.
What else is on your bucket list, Tommy? Get me to reply to one of your WhatsApps.
Listen to one of my songs.
Yeah. That's true.
Open one of my presents for you.
To be fair, I haven't been at the office since.
I know.
No.
And Seb could have got them for me, couldn't he? He's been in twice, but he just keeps saying, there's some stuff here for you.
I know. I asked you.
You knew you were seeing me. after you not getting me anything, or you
did a nice Instagram post though.
I asked.
Oh yeah, he did.
That was your
present.
present.
Of course, yeah. 247 likes for him. Mr. Blackhurst.
I don't know if I called you Mr. Blackhurst, did I? That is cruel. I asked you what you wanted me to do.
Reservoir Logs over here.
Cruel.
I asked you what you wanted to do with it, with the gift or whatever. I didn't know it was a gift. I didn't know what it was. That's what. And it turns out it was probably a nice present from Tommy. If I'd known that, I obviously would have brought it.
No. I was just following orders. I
was asking for orders. I wasn't even following orders.
It was just a job.
I was inquiring.
Just a job. I needed the money. I needed the money.
I was demanding orders. I was demanding, not demanding.
All right, I'm Charlie Cooper. You might recognise me from BBC Show This Country, but I'm here to tell you how much I love Mundial magazine. For me, it's a fanzine of football, documenting the best of football culture forever. I'm very proud to admit I've been a long-term subscriber of Mundial for years now. But if you subscribe, you don't just get the magazine, right? You get loads of other perks, too many to mention, in fact. So join Club Mundial at mundialmag.com.
Ins and outs, outs and ins. Seb. Fucking hell, this is, I mean, even for you.
This came, you know, when it comes up that someone starts a thread on Twitter these days, which is increasingly becoming somewhere not to go, but this is moments when you're glad that you're still on there.
I mean, you've got a problem with names, haven't you? Mrs. White, Mr. Blackhurst.
Okay, X, yeah, it's
Nwankwo.
Yeah. No,
Kentish Town Lamb.
Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But someone would do a quote tweet and was like, what's your favourite? And someone said, what's your favourite Viz comic letter?
Yeah.
Or what's your favourite top tips?
Yeah.
And honestly, keep forgetting about this, but every time I see this, I howl. Because the letter from Viz is Max Clifford. With a big picture of Max Clifford. If Max Clifford is so good at public relations, how come everyone thinks he's a cunt? Liz Foster via email. And the Viz comic Twitter feed, or X feed, is a daily delight amongst a lot of nonsense.
I've just realised Sid the Sext is still going, and Roger Melly man on telly, who looks a bit like you.
Does he? Oh, for fuck's sake. He does a little bit, yeah.
Roger Melly man on telly, Seb.
No,
There's Tommy Look at the front. Been to Turkey, got his new hair done.
Got his addies on, man. Look, got his 3 stripes on.
Production Christmas party got out of hand. That's the Viz Top Trumps cover. It's Seb and Tommy out on the town, should we say? Out.
Okay, fair enough.
The Max Clifford one was funny, but their recent
highlights
not as good. Tommy.
WrestleMania coming to London.
I mean, I don't mind talking about 90s WrestleMania with you, but like,
grow up, get over it.
It's just
stop clinging on to your childhood.
Well, I think we'd have more listeners if you didn't bang on about wrestling all the time.
I try and keep it sporadic.
No, you don't.
Really?
It's every episode.
Have you seen the picture though? It is pretty funny.
Where is it going to be?
Wembley, I'd imagine, Seb.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Acton Town Hall, is it?
No.
Sadiq Khan with a tiny belt.
Oh my God, this is worth it alone.
There you are.
Yeah,
exactly.
Are you going to go?
100%. I've wanted to go to WrestleMania my whole life, and to do it actually in England without.
Wouldn't you rather do it in America though?
I'd love to.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, one day.
Like seeing Boca Juniors at the Bombonera.
One day.
Not in a friendly against Arsenal.
But it is very, Would you not go if we could go?
Not to WrestleMania. No, it's not. No,
He won't let his daughter wear Crocs, mate.
No, I do. That's not true. I do.
You said you wouldn't be seen with her.
Yeah, but I jest.
Yeah, I'm not sure you should be jesting about stuff like that.
Or Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, we've talked about
that. I have been seen with her in Crocs now, but yeah.
Just walking ahead.
Now I've got my Birkenstocks back.
Walking ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in if it keeps you happy.
Thanks, mate.
Keeps you off the sauce.
There you go.
Watching entertainment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we know it's that.
Similarly entertainment focused, I would like my in is going to be Steve Coogan playing Mick McCarthy because I cannot fucking get over it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
But it's not going to be a flattering portrait of Mick, is it?
No.
I wonder who's making it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? Who is going? Yeah, which side are we coming from here? Because there are obviously two very different sides to this.
Well, is it going to be a Damn United where either Keane or McCarthy's family are unhappy with it?
Well, exactly, yeah.
So that's in.
Yeah, it's pretty good casting that, isn't it?
Seb.
Now, obviously, we've gone big on the season starting there, and all those games were played on a Saturday afternoon. The sun was still shining. There are half a dozen games, I think, starting, or half a dozen games being played on the Friday night before the Saturday, which I don't think has quite the same vibe.
That'll be me. United Fulham.
Yeah,
Friday night.
Yeah, see,
not as exciting.
It's not the same, is it? You have to rush home from work or take the half day off. It's not quite the same waking up.
I won't take half a day. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff.
No. But what I'm saying is, on a Saturday when you wake up, you've got the date, the excitement.
You got to fit the pints in.
Whereas you've got to throw real life in the way on a Friday night game.
I know what you mean.
Is what I'm saying.
The dichotomy of Seb is that he pretty much hates everything about modern football. All the things they do to keep it as football, more broadcasting money into the game and all this, whether you agree with it or not. But rather than take a stand, he just keeps going to more and supporting more teams. So what the fuck does that say about you?
Just football. I'm just, yeah.
But you do moan a lot about it.
You still feed the beast.
Yeah, I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm addicted to it.
There's worse addictions.
Yeah.
Maybe not for Seb. I'll put it out because it's obviously upset you. Tommy.
Broken car, but it's not so much the actual car breaking, because that happens to everyone. It's the fact that I've rang around 4 or 5 mechanics. I went to my usual guys who do my MOT, and they said, well, what is it? I was like, well, that's why I'm coming to you. So you can fucking tell me what it is. I was like, well, this happens when I press the accelerator, it kind of jitters a bit.
Yeah.
And then they said, no, I think you should go to a SEAT specialist. And then went to a SEAT specialist. They rang me yesterday saying, so we don't know exactly what it is, but it could be one of these 3 things. Which one do you want to go with? I'm like, you fucking tell me. I don't know anything about cars. This is why I'm bringing it to you.
Yeah.
So you decide, and I'll give you the money.
You're not good under the hood.
No. Can you
imagine you
that?
fagging mouth. Yeah, I've got no idea about anything like that. Well, I can't drive either.
I just think if you're taking something to an expert, they should be guiding you rather than asking me, like, if I want to spend 250 quid or 500 quid. Obviously, I'm going to go for the cheaper option, but I don't know which is the best option.
Yeah, I think I hate dealing with people who work in jobs like that, who expect you to know what they're on about just because you're a man.
Yeah.
I just had some fella come round once, and he was going on to me and asking me loads of questions about fucking guttering and waste pipes and everything, and I said, I haven't got a fucking clue, mate. Honestly, I just don't know, but I'm sure you could work it out. And he said, well, you should know. You should know. And I said, do you know how to make a fucking film?
Yeah.
You should know.
Could you write me a cover feature?
This is exactly it.
No, I don't fucking know, mate.
No.
I don't know. Like, I went recently. I got smashed into about a year ago, back of the car, fucking made a right old mess of it. Worse for his, but I finally managed to get round to fucking sorting it out. So I took it into this, like, fucking, the insurance company have tried to make me go to a garage a million miles away because it's cheaper, and I've said no, so it's taken a long time going back and forth on that. They're trying to haze me into doing it their way, but obviously I'm not going to do that. I prefer to drive around with a fucked car for a year to prove a point. Yeah. Well, it's all aesthetic anyway, so I don't give a shit. If it was unsafe, I wouldn't drive it, but it's not. It's just the arse has fallen off it, basically.
Like me after the anniversary meal.
Very much so. And the rest.
The arse.
Rebecca,
what do you think's wrong with it? Well, yeah, I think the arse has fallen.
Broken arse.
Rebecca, keep the peg in the drawer tonight. There might be two-way traffic. But so I went to this garage, right? And I said, I said, while we're here, can you tell me how much the fuck? I said, I've got a small chip in the winds, 2 small chips in the windscreen. I said, can you just do them as well? And he went, well, you'll have to. Your insurance will just cover that and your excess. And I went, yeah. I said, can you just not do them? I'll give you 100 quid.
Yeah.
And he looked at me like I was mental. I said, can you fix those 2 chips? And he went, yeah, we can, but your insurance will do it. And I was like,
you do it now.
Yeah. Well, not now. Like when you do the rest of the work, you just sort the fucking windscreen out as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we can maybe. And I went, do you know what?
It's fine.
Forget it. I think it's someone else. And what about the fucking scratch on the door from where I went into a wall when I was a lorry? Fucking, he was like, well, you'll have to get. They won't do anything. And I just went, what? Like, how does anything work? What's the point of me paying for insurance?
Well,
I remember that whole thing about, I've got 20 years, no claims. Oh, yeah, that means you've paid £1 million and never used it. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very good
It's
point.
a very good point.
But what you need to, how old are you now?
34.
Well, you need to stop pissing around with a fucking Seat, don't you?
I am.
Get
Next
yourself
year.
a fucking car.
What are you going to get?
I don't know, but
Why next year?
house this year.
Tommy.
Solicitors' fees. I
House.
can't afford.
Car.
It's all going on. All my savings are on solicitors' fees at the moment.
He's been through it twice, I remember.
Yeah,
he got
twice.
let down, didn't he?
So I lost thousands of pounds the first time.
You don't have to do it twice. There's other ways.
What do you mean?
Get a tent. Sleep in your car.
Oh, God.
Get your
Can,
car
you imagine
fixed.
can you imagine if Tommy was a member of Van Life UK, was just one of them? Lived in his car. Can you imagine? Big sticker on the back. Don't come knocking if this van's rocking. The goosemobile. Yeah, a horn that actually sounds like a goose.
That's very funny.
Is someone dying in there?
Yeah, that's very funny. Where's Tommy?
Help!
Got a transit. A transit in Man United red.
He's a transit man now.
He's fucking built his own bed in the back, but because he can't use the tools, it's literally just some cardboard.
And they're like really well done, like paintings of wrestlers.
Yeah,
and football
exactly.
players
Yeah.
on
The
side.
Undertaker on the side.
Guitars hanging off the side.
Firing guitars.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
The goose.
The Rock next to Bruno Fernandes.
The fucking goosemobile just pulled up in fucking Sainsbury's car parks all around the fucking country. Got himself the top bracket Pure Gym membership so he can use the showers.
Doesn't get the train anymore, just parks his outside at Spiritland. King's Cross, really cool area.
Take the park.
Lads, how much are you paying for that studio? Because I reckon I could soundproof the bastard. We do it on the road. We'll just do it in the goose wagon.
Just taking parking
Please, can
tickets
we
like
do-
right and centre.
Can we find a way? Oh,
Yeah, we'll just do it in the goose wagon.
Imagine
that is incredible.
on tour of the UK.
With the Undertaker painted on the side. Like really bad.
Like a circus. Like a fair. That sort of art.
The Undertaker choke slamming Jurgen Klopp. The Undertaker.
No, Pep. I don't mind Klopp.
The Undertaker. The Undertaker choke slamming Pep, wearing the '94 away kit.
So good. Oh my, the goosemobile. We have to I kind of want to make this happen.
Honk honk.
Should we set up a Patreon?
A GoFundMe.
To get Tommy a shagging wagon.
For Tommy to get a goosemobile that also doubles as a podcast studio.
Tommy doesn't want
Coming
to
to
pay
you next week.
Tommy doesn't want to pay solicitors' fees, right? And his life's been going really well, but he's got so fucking sick of it, he's going to live in a van. Going to live in a van. Doubles as a fucking tour bus for the band.
That's really good.
Imagine then. Imagine how sad he'd be if something happened to the van. Maybe we could make a mockumentary without him knowing, Seb. So we buy him the goosemobile.
Yeah.
Like, gaslight him into living in it.
Yeah.
And then one day, when he's not in it, when he's at Pure Gym doing kettlebell burn, because he's living off McDonald's again. Kettlebell burn with Jackie. So he's doing that in a Pure Gym in Norwich. Because he's in, yeah. But we just steal the van and set fire to it.
Oh my God.
Find it burnt out in Colchester. The fucking goosemobile. Just a fucking husk.
The horn really sad.
Yeah, still.
Just his fucking, just his South Park mug left.
Oh, this is wonderful. Oh God.
That's the most I've laughed in a long time.
Yeah, that is that.
Oh,
Oh God. Thanks, Spiritland, but we've had enough.
Yeah, I suppose your broken car is out. My out was, it's quite simply, you ever cut the bottom of your foot? The sole of your foot?
Yes.
Oh no.
God.
In Tenerife.
Yeah, well, you stood on a plug in the back of the goose wagon, didn't you? Had the Rickenbacker unplugged. It's been laying down some
broken strings.
Just, yeah. Laying down some bass on the 8-track.
Oh God, this is
The Cartman mug smashed to pieces.
This is top 5 for me.
Fucking hurt,
Tommy
like-
Stewart living in it.
But I've had, listen, so when I fucking met Zach in Asia, he'd cut the bottom of his foot and was walking on the side of it, so it meant he couldn't climb that mountain with me. So I took the piss out of him a little bit for it. Not a lot, but just a bit of general chiding for the way he was walking.
Yeah.
I've cut the bottom of my foot 3 times since.
3 times?
3 times?
Maybe there is a guy.
Once was walking on a treadmill without any socks on, which is admittedly my own fault, so that just blistered.
Fair play.
Got rid of that one pretty quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my own fault. Second one was just a little one, but this one, I cut it on a fucking razor clamshell at pet level on Sunday, running into the beach with my brother, running into the sea.
Yeah.
It is horrible.
Yeah. And do you know what's even funnier? So I'm staying at someone else's house at the moment, and the only plasters they've got are there for their daughter, which are My Little Pony ones.
No, this
Please
is
say
good.
you've got that.
I thought he was going to say Peppa Pig or something.
My feet are a bit mucky because
My Little Pony.
My feet are a bit
That's the
mucky because
best.
I've been on the beach, but there you go. Look.
Yeah.
it My Little Pony?
Owen's got a little pink plaster in the middle of the sole of his foot.
Is it My Little Pony?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd know it any time.
Yeah.
I've recognised that from anywhere.
I was more a Peppa Pig.
More of a Peppa Pig man myself. So.
More of a feed the pony man. Isn't it?
Yeah, so I can imagine that hurts. And you obviously walking.
It's so annoying.
Annoying.
I was jumping into a swimming pool on an all-inclusive holiday, first lads' holiday, 2008, very in-betweeners. And there was broken glass at the bottom of the pool. There was no... So, it was spluttering blood for about 15 minutes. Yeah. We asked for first aid.
Spluttering?
It was just like... Yeah. It was constantly pouring. Maybe not spluttering, but pouring for about 15 minutes. And we asked for first aid, and the hotel owner was like, what is first aid?
Real in-betweeners, yeah.
Very in-betweeners.
Yeah. I was... my brother reminded me of this the other day, and we went to on holiday to Lanzarote when we were kids. And we played water polo. And there was a Vietnamese fella called Willie who ran the activities at the resort. And I was such a fucking tyrant in the water polo pool that he knew me as the little general.
Shock horror.
Just bollocking kids left, right and centre. I was only 9.
Were you only 9?
Yeah, but if you fucking can't swim or catch, why are you fucking putting your name?
Yeah.
Why have you put your name down for water polo, mate?
Yeah. No, it's a fair point.
You fucking got armbands. You got armbands on. I keep trying to fucking play the ball out left, and you're fucking drowning.
It's a vicious game as well.
It's not like sticking someone at third man, is it?
It's a vicious game.
No.
You have to be involved.
And even when you fucking
I've watched a bit of the Olympics water polo, and it is vicious.
I still remember it. I do remember when it reached crescendo about the third day that I do remember. I do remember reflecting, thinking, "You've probably done too much there. You've probably gone in a bit hard on him there."
What was it?
I just can't remember.
Yeah.
Like my little brother was in the same team, and he's fucking 3.5, 4 years younger, and I had to look after him a lot.
How did he? Was he all right? Did he?
Well, no, he was too young, wasn't he?
Yeah. Right.
No, he was probably all right. He's good at all sports because he hung around with me and older people a lot.
Yeah.
But maybe it wasn't.
Not good enough for the little general, though. The little general. Oh, I'm surprised that's only.
Hola, the little general.
Yeah, he must have been so happy.
No, I wasn't. I realised
you would, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Reporting for duty.
Little. This has been reminding you why you love football. He's been Sharty Spice. He's been homeless Tommy Stewart. Lives in a van life. Van Life UK is a popular Facebook group I keep seeing pop up, along with
this is good.
Britain's Wild Larder and things like that. See, honestly, mate, if you want to do it, you're fucking set up. Why not?
Yeah.
Life on the road.
Yeah.
Just a fucking travelling Wilbury.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my flat in Wally Range.
A travelling podcast.
Travelling
recording studio.
If I was still single, maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Fucking hell, it'd be so Brent, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Tommy trying to do a wee transfer from fucking Knutsford Services.
Ladies.
Me bollocking him down the fucking phone. Where's that fucking phone? Sorry, I'm tethering here. I'm tethering.
It is done. It is done.
I'm tethering. I've had to ask one of the lads on the fruity see if I can borrow his dongle.
So good. This is honestly.
I'm trying to hotspot, but there's only fucking 3G in East Anglia.
Some cunt is downloading something off Netflix for the kids to watch in the car.
I'd steal his car, but the kids are still in it. Fuck, I'm going to lose my job.
Oh, dear.
I've already lost my home.
He's had 3 solar panels put on the top of the Transit and they just don't work. Someone's fucking...
But I don't bother getting rid of them.
Someone's fucked him.
Just a big pack of those flat square batteries. Massive pack from Costco he got.
Dad, can you pick me up?
Yeah.
Little Adidas Tango on the gear knob.
Yeah. I think the Discord were like this.
An ironic no smoking thing hanging off the thing. Fucking rules. Who makes the rules round here? As he sparks up.
I don't live by the rules.
Yeah.
But Tommy, didn't you... Shut up.
Takes great pride in the fact, not actually using a proper lighter, but the in-car lighter.
Oh, yeah.
You know this, the lighter.
It's spotless. Everything else in the van is fucked.
Yeah.
And that lighter, Jesus Christ.
And I can stick my Bluetooth in it as well. So, Toscon. Bluetooth Toscon.
Oh, God, this is good. I'm sorry, this is one of my favourite moments of the record ever.
Thank you, Spiritland. We've got a new issue of Mundial Mag out at all times. You know where to go to buy it. Please share this. Tell people about it. Leave us reviews. We like hearing from you. We will listen, even the bad ones, and we have. We might not do anything about it, but we do listen. Thank you to Spiritland. Thank you to Seb. Thank you to Tommy. Thank you to me, and we'll see you next week.
Love you, mate.
Reminding You Why You Love Football is a Mundial and Football co-production. Produced by Tommy Stewart and Seb White, hosted by me, Owen Blackhurst, and recorded on the run.